welcome back to Midweek Mobility. We're going to be talking this week about a little bit of hip mobility and finding a bit of space in those hip joints. By doing that, we're going to really stabilise through the pelvis to make sure that the mobility that we're creating is actually in this joint and not just coming from a lack of control in the rest of the body. So you want to lie yourself down on your mat, make yourself comfy. So we're going to start with one leg straight. So let's have your right leg straight and your left leg is going to come up to tabletop. Now, first of all, before you even do this part, try and make sure that your tail is on the ground, that you've got an even weight and height through your pelvis. So your pubic bone isn't higher than your hip bones or lower than your hip bones. It's on the same level plane. You need ideally a little arch in the lower back. That size of that will be dependent on you and your body. Your waist should be long on both sides. So your pelvis is nice and square and stable. So we hold that, and you can physically hold on to that if it's useful for you to be able to tactile feel whether or not it's moving. And then you're going to bring that left leg up. Now either keep your hands on your hips or open them wide. And from here you're just going to imagine you've got a pencil on the top of your knee and draw some circles. Now, as you draw those circles, I want you to make sure that your pelvis isn't moving. It shouldn't be rocking or rolling or tipping forwards or backwards as that hip moves. The movement should be specifically coming from that hip socket. So, thigh bone stirring in the socket. Your other leg is anchored, and you can actively reach that leg away, because why not? We might as well get a little bit of strength from that leg to help with this stability of the pelvis. And then you can start to take this the other way. Now, if you're happy with this and you feel like you can really control this whole trunk, then you can take hold of the back of the thigh and just start to lengthen that leg up. And you may do this a few times just to get a little bit of stretch down the back of the thigh. Find your end range, and that may not be a straight leg, and that's completely fine. If your leg is still bent, that's fine, little kink, just bring it in a little bit towards you. So you want ideally your foot to be roughly over your hip. Or if you get a straight leg, then that's also great. You're going to then start to circle, and you're going to start to make these a little bit bigger. Now once you've got this leg straight, you've got a longer lever. So let's go with a slight kink in the knee, because it lightens it, makes it a little bit less heavy. You've got a longer lever, so more potential for the pelvis to be moving. Now, if we want true mobility and flexibility and space and suppleness in that hip, we need to be able to move that without moving the pelvis. So really your focus needs to be on keeping your tummy tight, doing up that tight belt, squeezing yourself into that tight pair of jeans, keeping complete control across the pelvis and the trunk, and then creating as big a movement as you can through this leg. Now you can keep these really small, and you can really bend that knee if it helps. Work up to a straight leg. If you want to, you can start to make these much bigger. So you lean across, you circle round, you take it all the way as wide as you can and up to the top. And you could do that in both directions. So let's do all of that again on the other leg when you're ready, in your own time. Make sure you even up, and remember that it's not all about how much you move the leg, but it's also about how much you're able to stabilize your pelvis. A big movement in the leg with a wobbly pelvis isn't going to increase your mobility, but a nice stable pelvis and a smaller, more controlled movement will ultimately create much bigger results and better results for your mobility. So give it a go, let me know how you get on, and I'll see you again next Wednesday. Thanks guys.